At this point, you should have SQL Server Developer 2019 installed, and you should have SSMS, the current version, installed. And you should be able to launch your app and connect to SQL Server. Once you have that, you're ready to install the database files. And there are 3 different sets of database files that we're going to install, and they all install a little bit differently. So you can simply click on the Murac link and the Northwind link. And then for the worldwide importer, it'd probably just be easiest to click on this worldwide importer standard backup link right here. That way you don't have to scroll down the page to find it. And you can see I've got those downloaded. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my download folder because that is where I put them. And we'll start with this Murac one. So I'm going to double click on it because it is a zipped file. And then I'm going to extract everything. And this should go relatively fast. It's not like installing. And if we open up the file, what we want are the databases. And there are 3 of them. And what they've done is they've given us SQL scripts that will actually go through and install them. So I'm going to double click, and this should open right up in SSMS. It's working on it. Okay, so this is a script that will create the database and the tables, and it actually populates the tables with data. So if you kind of scroll down, you can see all of the data that's going to be entered into the tables. By the end of the semester, you guys will be able to read through these scripts and you will understand exactly what they do. For right now, all you have to do to install this is click in the script to activate it, and then click on the execute button. And you can see down here, it's executing the queries. Should be successful. And typically, you don't see the database right away. What you normally have to do is right click on databases and refresh. Okay, and then you can see this is the AP database that we just installed. And if you click the plus sign next to AP and click the plus sign next to tables, you can see that it's populated with a bunch of tables. When we get into chapter 2 of the book, you will be learning how to view different things in SSMS. So you'll be basically learning how to use this interface. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one. And then I'm going to go back over and I'm going to double click on the example database here. And I'm going to activate it. And I'm going to execute this one to install it. Okay, and it says query executed successfully, which is what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. Go back out. And now I'm going to do the product order database. And I'm going to execute this one. And it says it was successful. So I can close. And now if I refresh, I can see all three of them. Okay, so we've got Mirac installed. So I'm going to go back over here into downloads. So we've got this one installed, and now we're going to do the Microsoft ones. We're going to install Northwind and Hubs, which are two pretty well-known databases that have a lot of data in them. And I'm going to extract here. And then I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And again, I have two scripts, so this isn't going to be too bad. I'm going to double click on the first one. And I'm going to execute. Now this may have a couple errors, but it'll still work. Okay, and so basically there's a couple different stored procedures that are missing, but that does not affect creating the actual tables and database files. So this is fine. This worked. If you're concerned, you can right click on databases and refresh. Okay, but you should see Northwind. And if we expand out tables, okay, there are lots of tables and there's just a ton of data in this one. And now we're going to go back out and we're going to install the publishers. So this is a separate database that we are installing. Okay, and again, don't worry if you see a little error. You can see that there was a stored procedure that was missing. That is not a big deal. It's just, it's like a little function. Okay, so it still worked. You still got the publisher files. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close. And we've got one more. So Worldwide Importers is a backup, and we can create backups in SSMS, and we can restore those backups. The problem is that SSMS is probably not going to have access to my download folder. So I am going to have to move this backup to a place where SSMS can access it. Okay, and so on my C drive, I have a temp folder. Okay, if you don't have a temp folder on your C drive, you can make one. Okay, all you have to do is select your C drive. Okay, and if you scroll down and you don't see temp, then you can create a new folder. You click the new and folder, you can create a folder. I think it'll say new folder. Okay, and then right over the top of the highlighting, you would just key in the word temp. Now it's not really going to let me do this because I already have a temp folder. I can call it temp2. Okay, but you guys do need a temp folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to simply move the backup into the temp folder. So you can right click on this backup. And that should give you a menu, and you can actually cut it. And then we can go down to our temp folder. And you can right click. And we should be able to paste. Okay, and I happen to have this in here. I'll go ahead and replace what was there. So now I got this new one that I just downloaded. And I'm going to go ahead and restore that. So I'm going to go back into SSMS. I'm going to right click on the databases and I'm going to choose Restore Database. And let's see. Oh, I need to get it from my device because I have to grab it from the hard drive. And I'm going to click on the ellipsis here. I'm going to click on Add. And now I need to navigate to it. And this is why I had you move it out of the download folder, because there's only certain folders that it has access to. And those are all on the C drive. And that is not where my download folder is located. Not sure about yours, but you can see I do have the temp folder here. So I'm going to select it. And this was called Worldwide Importer Standard Backup. So it's right here. And I'm going to click OK. Okay, here it is. I'm going to click OK. Should say ready. And all I should have to do is click OK. And the green up in the corner is a good sign. That usually means it's working. Sometimes there are compatibility issues. However, I have not run into that problem with this particular file. Okay, and it was restored successfully. And so if I refresh here, I can see worldwide importers and the numerous tables that are available. So at this point, I am ready to proceed forward and start working on chapter 2. I do encourage you guys, if you have not read chapter 1, to read through the chapter and the chapter key points. It just gives you a nice background on databases. If you run into any problems installing, please let me know. We can certainly Zoom and I can help you.